it's Sizwe here, author of The Omega Moment. Really, I've got just a word to share with you today. And well, you see, one of the things that stand out for me in my book that I've been writing about is that the Lord is a way of bringing us to a place of reset. The children of Israel experienced what I call is a dead end. After they had walked with the Lord for about 38 years, they found themselves in the same place where the previous generation was. It was a dead end. It was a dead end. The direction was there, but the door was closed. And many of us tend to experience that. A dead end in our career, a dead end in our strength, a dead end in a direction where we think that God has spoken. The children of Israel, the new generation, knew that this is the direction where the promise was, but there was a dead end. And in that dead end, God decided to, instead of using the first route of the former generation, the Bible teaches us that they actually went around. And they took a detour literally around. So they didn't actually go as the first generation went, but they went in a different direction. And this is what I'm trying to say, that when the promises of God sometimes and the purposes of God in our life reach a dead end kind of thing, God sometimes reconfigures us and reconfigures the season for us to experience what we call a new direction. This is not a new idea. This is not a new thing you're trying to conjure. It's a new approach that God is using. So when they went to the promised land this time, instead of going in straight, which was a 40-day journey, they actually went around and took a year's journey into the promised land. So you can see that initially the journey was supposed to take 40 years, but when the second generation went and tried to possess the promised land, guess what? It was a year's journey. And what does that mean? It means that sometimes even in this reset that we experience, we have a kind of a dead end where you don't know how to. You've come to the end of your strength. You have come to the end of trying to just walk into those things that God has said. God sometimes makes you experience this particular reset. And the more you walk in it, though it is by faith, it seems further and further away from the promise. I mean, think about it. 40 days is much quicker than going through a year, right? So that's what had happened. They took literally time to get there. But everything that God wanted to do in their lives, everything, it took particularly just a year for God to reset that entire experience that I experienced. So I want to let you know right now that God is doing something in the body of Christ, the local church. Just there where the experience of Israel, where the first generation experienced death, a blockage of a door, the dead end, right there, God was bringing you direction. Right there, God had given birth to a new generation. Right there, God was doing something new. In the same place where Hannah was barren, when Peninnah had stopped giving birth, Hannah's womb opened up. In that same place. So in the same place where there is death, God makes life appear. In the same place where, the children of Eli were busy behaving like sons of Belial in the temple of God, chowing stock and chowing meat, the meat offerings of the Lord. Guess what? In that same place, God was raising Samuel. So that where there was supposed to be death, actually God brings life. In the same way, when the Balaam tried to deceive the children of Israel and cause them to actually commit acts of hodom and worship other gods, when God was judging Israel and they literally, many of them died in that season. Many of them died because of the treachery of Balaam. But at that same place, many still found life. At that same place where the children of Israel were bitten by vipers, in that same place, God lifted up Moses, lifted up a brazen serpent, on a pole. And guess what? Many received life, and they were not judged by the Lord. And that is the economy of God. At that same place where you're experiencing life right now, death right now, I want to tell you that it is at that same place God is giving life. It is at that same place where you are feeling stuck. It is at that place where God is actually communicating new direction. It begins right there, in the same place where, Hannah, among that lady, Leah was giving birth to a lot of children, and Rachel was experiencing a lot of barrenness, but that barrenness was leading to intercession, so that she could give birth to a child that is only born from prayer. God tends to give us right there in a place where we might experience death. He gives us life. And that is also what happened at the cross. He experienced death for us, so that at that place where he experienced death, we might experience life. So I want to tell you that you are not as stuck as you seem. You are not as deadless as you seem. It is not necessarily the end of your strength. It is the end of your former strength. God is giving you new strength for a new journey, new strength for a new route. The body of Christ is going to do epic things in this season, amazing things, wonderful things. And I want you to know that even as they went out in this particular new direction, they didn't go just as one individual or two or three. Guess what? They went as an entire nation. I'm telling you, what God is doing today is that the whole church of God, in our different tribes, in our different church communities, we're experiencing a great new direction in God's power, a new direction in life being injected in the body of Christ. God is doing it. God is raising up the standard.